Welcome back. Today, we're diving into a serious topic. Several European countries are now urging citizens to prepare for the possibility of war. It sounds dramatic, but these warnings are real, driven by the ongoing Russia-Ukraine conflict and rising global tensions. Governments are concerned about threats to critical infrastructure, power, water, communications. The goal isn't to scare, but to inform and empower you to take practical steps. We'll break down what's happening in Germany, the UK, Sweden, and the EU, and what they're recommending. Think of it like preparing for a big storm, being ready just in case. Let's get into what you need to know. Let's start with Germany, where the government has issued its first official war warning in 35 years. The Federal Office for Civil Protection and Disaster Assistance, or BBK, is urging citizens to prepare for emergencies by stocking up on essentials. The advice: have enough food and water for 3 to 10 days, not for panic buying, but for steady, thoughtful preparation. The BBK's checklist is clear: 2 liters of water per person per day, canned vegetables and fruits, long-lasting milk, cooking oil, powdered eggs, and canned meats. These are everyday items, not survivalist rations, meant to keep you healthy and comfortable if you can't leave home. Shelf-stable milk and powdered eggs are highlighted for their long shelf life and versatility. Canned meats and fish provide protein without refrigeration. The message is about self-reliance. Don't wait for the government to save you. Be ready to care for yourself and your family. This isn't about fear, but about practical resilience. Germany's approach is to empower citizens with knowledge and a plan, making preparedness achievable. The BBK's detailed list removes the guesswork, making it easy to build a safety net. The focus is on small, manageable steps, stocking up gradually, not all at once. It's a shift from total reliance on authorities to personal responsibility. By preparing, you're not just ready for war, but for any crisis: natural disasters, power outages, or supply chain disruptions. The takeaway: be prepared, not scared. Germany's message is clear. Preparedness is a recipe for safety. It's about building a buffer for your family, whatever comes. This lesson in self-reliance is valuable everywhere, not just in Germany. The government isn't causing panic. They're giving you a plan. With a checklist and a calm approach, you can face uncertainty with confidence. Preparedness is now part of everyday life in Germany. It's a practical, no-nonsense approach to a changing world. Take small steps, and you'll be ready for anything. That's Germany's wake-up call. Let's see how the UK is responding. Across the Channel, the UK is also urging citizens to get ready. The government's new Prepare campaign, led by Deputy Prime Minister Oliver Dowden, calls for every household to build resilience. The advice: assemble an emergency kit with at least 3 days' worth of supplies. Stock up on canned food, soups, beans, vegetables, fish, things that don't need refrigeration. Water is crucial: 3 liters per person per day, with extra for hygiene. Medicine is a priority. Keep a first aid kit and ensure you have enough prescription meds. Don't forget your pets. Stock up on their food and medications too. The Prepare website also recommends a battery-powered or wind-up radio, a torch, and a power bank for your phone. The focus isn't on bunkers, but on common-sense steps that make you and your community stronger. If every household is ready, emergency services can focus on those most in need. This is about building national resilience, starting at home. The government wants preparedness to be as routine as home insurance, something you hope you never need but have for peace of mind. The campaign is about shifting culture. Preparedness isn't fear, it's smart planning. The UK's message is simple: create a small stockpile, plan for your pets, and think about how you'll stay informed if the power goes out. It's a collective effort. Everyone plays a part in national safety. The Prepare campaign is a modern take on Cold War readiness, adapted for today's risks. The government is clear: don't panic, just prepare. By taking these steps, you give yourself and your family a buffer against the unexpected. It's about empowerment, not anxiety. The UK is making preparedness a normal part of life. The advice is practical, achievable, and relevant for everyone. Build your kit, make your plan, and you'll be ready for whatever comes. That's the UK's approach. Now, let's look at Sweden's strategy. Preparedness is becoming a European standard. Let's see how Sweden is raising the bar. Sweden is taking preparedness to a national level by re-establishing a strategic food reserve for the first time since the Cold War. This move is a direct response to increased security concerns, especially with tensions in the Baltic region and Sweden's recent NATO membership. The government is partnering with private companies to stockpile staple foods, grains, flour, sugar, pasta, oils, powdered milk, and dried proteins. The goal ensures Sweden can feed its people if imports are disrupted. Unlike the old days of government warehouses, companies are paid to hold extra inventory, making the system efficient and modern. This national reserve complements individual preparedness. The Swedish Civil Contingencies Agency advises every household to be self-sufficient for at least a week. Their checklist: easy-to-prepare foods, canned goods, crisp bread, nuts, energy bars, warm clothes, blankets, and a radio. Sweden's culture of preparedness is rooted in history. Emergency kits and public shelters were once the norm. The government is reviving this mindset, making it part of their total defense strategy. They're open about the risks, encouraging a shared sense of responsibility. It's not about fear, but about readiness and community. The National Food Reserve is a massive project, but it signals real concern at the highest levels. Sweden's approach is comprehensive. Individuals prepare for a week, the state prepares for months. It's a top-to-bottom strategy for resilience. Preparedness is both personal and national. Sweden is building a buffer against uncertainty. The message: everyone has a role in national security. This is preparedness for a new era. Sweden's example shows how readiness can be woven into daily life. It's a model for others to follow. Now, let's see how the EU is uniting these efforts. Preparedness is becoming a European value. The European Union is now calling for a continent-wide culture of preparedness. The EU's latest document urges all 27 member states to ensure citizens can be self-sufficient for at least 72 hours. The essentials: non-perishable food, clean water, first aid kit, medications, power bank, flashlight, and a battery-operated radio. But the EU's vision goes further. It's about making preparedness a normal part of life. They want schools to teach crisis response, first aid, and how to find reliable information. The goal: equip the next generation with the skills to handle emergencies confidently. Countering disinformation is also a priority, teaching people to spot fake news and trust official sources. Societal resilience is key. Businesses, community groups, and organizations are urged to have their own emergency plans. The EU is harmonizing standards, so every country is ready to help its neighbors in a crisis. The message is clear. The risk of major incidents, natural disasters, cyber attacks, or conflict is higher than in decades. The EU isn't sugarcoating the situation. Honesty is seen as the best motivator for action. This unified approach reinforces national efforts in Germany, the UK, and Sweden. Preparedness is now a coordinated, continent-wide response. The EU's call is for a deep cultural shift. Beyond stockpiling, it's about knowledge, skills, and community cooperation. The aim: a Europe where every citizen feels empowered and ready for uncertainty. It's a bold, ambitious goal, but one that's gaining momentum. The EU wants preparedness to be second nature. It's about solidarity and mutual support across borders. The message: get ready, together. Preparedness is now a European standard. The EU is leading a cultural transformation. It's about building a resilient future for all. The time to prepare is now. Let's wrap up with what this means for you. Preparedness is everyone's responsibility. The message from across Europe is clear. It's time to get ready, not panic. Building a small emergency kit, food, water, essentials, gives you peace of mind and real security. Preparedness is about confidence, not fear. When you have a plan, you're in control, no matter what comes. It's about protecting your family and strengthening your community. Let's take these lessons to heart. Be prepared, not scared. Thanks for watching. Stay safe, and see you next time.